All right, we're gonna try this again. I tried to make a video like this before, but it was way too long and way too detailed. So we're gonna give this another shot. What's up? My name is Micah, certified personal trainer. And today I'm just gonna be basically going over a brief overview / review of the NCCPT Certified Personal Trainer certification. First off, you probably haven't heard of the NCCPT unless if you have the ISSA certification. If you have that, then you've probably heard, you at least familiar with the name. The ISSA started a child company called the NCCPT for the purpose of creating an accredited certification for the people that got the ISSA cert. It's a real personal trainer cert, but it's not accredited. So certain gyms might not accept the ISSA. So the way that they solved that was they basically created the NCCPT, which is the National Council for Certified Personal Trainers, turned it into a whole thing. And that exam or that certification is accredited by the NCCA, the National Commission for Certifying Agencies, which is the same company that accredits both the NASM exams and the ACE exams. You got the ISSA cert, and then you realize that it wasn't accredited and you can't find a job. You're like, oh crap, I need to do something. Well, now you have the option of doing the NCCPT exam as well. And then you're essentially double certified. And then the NCCPT exam is just as valid as the NASM and the ACE because it's accredited by the same agency. Really, the NCCPT is just a cert for the people who are in the ISSA who either want to get an accredited cert as well, just to make themselves more, make them more hireable essentially. So if you're starting your own business, ISSA is totally gonna be fine. You know, everything that you learn there is gonna translate just fine into your career. It's just really for those people that have the ISSA exam and then they're looking to get employed by a gym and just need to make sure that they are hireable. If you haven't gotten any certification at all, to be honest, I probably would just recommend going straight to NASM just because that seems to be the industry standard. Although I do think ISSA is a lot better just because of the amount of specialization courses that ISSA has to offer as compared to any of the other certifications. It's not even close. I mean, they've got powerlifting, bodybuilding, strength and conditioning, performance enhancement, nutrition. They've even got glute specialists. I mean, they've got every additional specialization course you can possibly imagine. So in an educational aspect, I do think ISSA is probably the best one that you can go with, just in my personal opinion. Hireability, that's debatable, but obviously now with the NCCPT, it does kind of give ESSA a bit more of a competitive edge against all of the other certs out there. So in terms of how difficult the test is, it's not, I would say it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. So, you know, obviously it's a proctored exam because it's accredited. So you either have to go to an actual testing site or you have to do it online. I went to a testing site. You have 2 hours to complete it and there are 140 questions. And honestly, I enjoyed the test for the NCCPT even better, or a lot better than the ISSA exam, just because the ISSA exam, even though it was open book and untimed, just the amount of questions and the ridiculous specificity of some of the questions on the ISSA exam just were a complete pain to answer. If you've done the exam, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, but honestly, I thought that the NCCPT exam was a little bit easier just because it gives you a lot more of a general scope of everything that you need to know. A couple things that I really liked about the exam is a lot of like case study questions. So they were all multiple choice questions, but you know, it was like story questions like you have in math or whatever, where it's like, oh yeah, you got this client here, they're trying to lose weight in this time frame, blah blah blah. Which option do you think, which exercise would you have them do for this, or what type of periodization would you do, linear or undulating, you know, that kind of thing. It was a lot more general. The questions were a lot more general and just easier to answer than the ISSA. Obviously, it's not open book or untimed. Actually, you have to know your stuff. You have to actually study and make sure that you memorize it. Whereas with the ISSA, if you really wanted to, you could just look up every single answer, even though that would take you a long time. So 50% of the test right off the bat, I believe, is applied sciences and program implementation and design. So that right there, 50% of the test. Whenever I heard applied sciences, I thought that that was going to be mostly kind of like general anatomy of everything. It's a lot more than that. So whenever they say applied sciences, what I found ultimately that came down to was just technical knowledge of the names of muscles and their actions. Definitely, you know, understanding biomechanics and kinesthetics were, I think, some of the most important things in the entire test. With the program implementation and design, that was pretty straightforward. If you just read the entire chapter of program design in your textbook, your ISSA textbook, you're gonna understand pretty much everything you need to know. That all of the information is right there. The next biggest thing I think was exercise form and technique. That's pretty straightforward too, you know. Every once in a while there would be some questions where there would be a video and it would show somebody doing an exercise, and then essentially you just have to critique the form. So some of the answers might be, yeah, it looks good. Some of the answers like, no, it looks bad. You know, his ankles are pointed that way. Whatever it is, they'll show you a video and you have to be able to look at the form of the exercise done. Was that a cow? Bro, these cows are trying to ruin my video. Shut up! I'm trying to remember where I was. Have to know exercise form and technique, and one thing that really helps whenever you're doing that is, again, understanding the names of muscles, their functions, and biomechanics. Those are all really important for those questions. Yeah, if you just understand form, biomechanics, kinesthetics, and the names of certain muscles, that's really going to help, because I was a little thrown off by the amount of different times it would ask you like the names of certain muscles. So if you think that rectus femoris is a Harry Potter spell, you're probably not going to do very well in this exam. That was a terrible joke. With all that said, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a solid certification. Glad that I got it. Whenever you're studying, you know, just go over your study guides. Just know your material. You know, what I did was I just went over all of the study guides that they have for each chapter, did them all again, even though I did it the first time whenever I read through the textbook, and then I just did the quizzes again, and that'll kind of help sharpen your knowledge. But what it'll ultimately come down to is your knowledge of form, technique, and biomechanics. That's a lot of it. And assessment, I forgot to mention that too. Assessment is really good too. So know your overhead squat, your squat assessments, and how to correct exercise technique, kind of. So one of the questions was, why would somebody put a monster band around their knees for a squat? And obviously the answer is, I think I can say this because this is I think I can say this. It obviously is to train your glutes and to activate your glutes during the squat. So really, yeah, just understanding what the muscles do, what their primary function is, that's going to go a long way with this exam. And that's about it. Just understand biomechanics, kinesthetics, muscle names, and functions. And then obviously just a little bit of general information about nutrition, applied sciences, whether that be your basic anatomy, your basic functions of the body, whether that be digestion, circulatory and respiratory systems, all that stuff. That's about what it comes down to, man. And yeah, that's all I got for you. So if you liked the video, make sure to go ahead and drop that like, so I know you did. Go ahead and subscribe on this channel. I'm going to be sharing, basically documenting my career as I go. So if I find helpful cues or exercise technique, just like basically trainer tips, whether you're a client yourself and you're just trying to be healthy, or if you're a personal trainer that's just looking to excel in their career, I've got you, man. I'm just wanting to share the knowledge as I go, because that'll help solidify it in my mind, and then hopefully you can use it too to fuel your careers. So yeah, that's all I got for you. Good luck with the test. Let me know what you think. See ya.